Well, hello there. It's been a while since we've done this, but we found a random crap movie to talk about. So tonight, we watched Punisher War Zone, War Space Zone, for some reason, directed by some Pakistani lady who went on to direct some episodes of Supergirl and Arrow, and fucking Taken the show, Limitless the show, all those other shitty NBC shows they made off movies that came out in 2009. Taken, Limitless, fucking whatever. Lethal Weapon? Well, Lethal Weapon came out a long time ago. But Connor, what is the plot of Punisher War Zone, as it's called?
Alright, so here's what happened. I'm about to break this down. Punisher Warzone stars Frank Castle. His family was brutally murdered by the mob, and he becomes a vigilante, similar to Batman, but instead of following Batman's moral compass, his only moral compass is death and destruction. Meanwhile, we have a character whose dad is Don Corleone from The Godfather, except in a wheelchair, and he says, "Daddy, Jermaine, Daddy," and then he goes into the glass chamber and gets his face cut up, and he says, "I'm Jigsaw from the Jigsaw movies now, from Saw Spiral," and he becomes the Jigsaw, and then boring shit happens for an hour, and then they fight, and Punisher kills them all. So Aiden, what did you think of the Punisher Warzone?
Oh, it's a fucking shit show.
The Punisher.
It's terrible. The Punisher character's never gonna work in film. He's too edgy. He's too fucking evil. The Punisher in this movie does way worse than the fucking bad guys do, which makes him completely unsympathetic, even if the people he's killing are in the mafia. The main villain guy becomes all fucked up because Punisher pushes him into like a glass recycling machine. He gets like mulched, and he becomes like a fucking weird Frankenstein man. It's fucking weird, but the basics of it. The opening action scene is fucking incredible. It's fucking incredible.
Unbelievable.
It is the highlight of the movie. The mafia people are all having like a party, and there's the wheelchair mafia guy and the guy who gets cut up in the glass machine,
Don Corleone,
and a bunch of other people. They're having a party, and the Punisher shows up, decapitates the dude in the wheelchair, breaks his wife's neck with his ankles, shoots dozens of other people point blank in the head, and like stabs his knives through their heads. Then he pulls out 2 gigantic machine guns and hangs upside down from the chandelier and spins around shooting bullets everywhere and mulching everyone. The opening action scene is some of the most incredible shit I've ever seen, and is so worth watching. It's incredible. And then after that, the movie becomes a fucking snooze for a long time, and the ending action scene, sadly, does not live up to the original. There's a couple funny moments in the last action scene.
like when the guy says he wants to fuck a 9-year-old.
Yeah, the jailbait comment about the 9-year-old is really fucking weird. The fact that the Punisher's best friend is the neighbor from fucking Seinfeld is really fucking weird.
That isn't the neighbor from Seinfeld, by the way.
It is.
No, the neighbor from Seinfeld's a different guy. Oh wait,
He's
the
also the
neighbor from Seinfeld. I was thinking the little short guy that looks like Danny DeVito with a donut haircut.
No, the chubby guy
But that's
who's also
a character, and then this guy's a character. What else is this guy in?
he's the main scientist in Jurassic Park who's like, I'm not getting paid enough, and he turns off the computers and the dinosaurs kill everyone.
Right.
And he wears the flying shirts, yeah. So he's like Punisher's best friend, and Punisher just lets him get killed for no reason. I mean, it's odd. There's a couple good moments in the final fight scene, like where he fills the coffee can with grenades and then kicks it at the guy. But nothing lives up to the insanity of the opening scene. The opening scene is a fucking masterpiece. My biggest problem I have two problems. One, the Punisher's a fucking horrible psychopath that I can't relate to at all. Because, like, even during the party scene, which is hilarious, I have to imagine this is like a big party for something. I have to imagine like half of those people were civilians that he just shot point blank in the face.
Right.
And like the guy's wife whose neck he just brutally snaps with his feet. It's a fucking riotous scene, but the Punisher's completely unrelatable. And then they try to make him relatable by like some lady who was married to a cop the Punisher killed for some reason. She's like, me and my daughter are sad about my husband dying. And the Punisher's like, I'll take care of you. And they're like, no, you're creepy and weird. Which is the correct response. And then at the end he's like, here's $100,000. And also my friend fucking Seinfeld neighbor got shot for you. And then they're like, wow, we love you, Punisher, thanks. And the final shot of the movie is almost as incredible as the opening scene where the Punisher shoots a petty criminal from robbing his friend, blows his head off with a shotgun. I don't know. There's like this boring melodrama with the cops and like the police chief is like, we need to stop the Punisher because he's dangerous. And then at the end he's like, actually the Punisher's a pretty cool guy. But at one point, he's like in the cop with the dweeby cop. He's in the car with the dweeby cop. And he's like, I once got kicked off the force almost for snorting all the cocaine. And my buddy took the fall for me or something. It's like really weird and comes out of nowhere. And doesn't have anything to do with anything. They just needed to fill 5 minutes. Everything between the first and last fight scenes just feels like fucking filler. Horrible, boring, dull filler. So yeah, it's like a messy, convoluted way of saying that the opening action scene is incredible and everything else is a fucking snooze. Connor, what'd you think of the Punisher War Zone?
I don't think I have much to add, to be honest with you. The opening action scene is fucking epic, and I watched it a couple nights ago and was like, Aiden, we gotta watch this movie. And then the problem is everything after what I watched the other night was boring dog shit. It was like,
does not keep up the
just
momentum.
melodrama. People are sitting there chatting the whole time. There's an okay final battle scene, but to be honest, like the first 10 minutes of this movie is balls to the walls action. It's just ridiculous.
If they kept up the pace,
etc., etc.
so
Right. And
the opening action scene is so fucking promising. When
it's just there's it's a movie that promises so much in the first 10 minutes, never delivers, and then the only thing I can think about the final climax is the creepy line about how the guy wanted to fuck a 9-year-old. It's like, wait,
it's
what?
really weird.
You sit there and you say, wait, what? And
It's
then
like the most casual line in the movie too. Like everyone's fucking horrible at acting in this movie, and everyone always sounds
Right.
stilted and fake. And like half the scenes, they blatantly dubbed all the lines, and it looks and sounds awful. And then the only casual line in this movie is when the main villain's like, "What about that little fucking sexy jailbait over there?" It's like a fucking 6-year-old. It's fucking creepy.
Right.
It's fucking weird.
If it was like a 22-year-old pretending to be a 16-year-old, you'd be like, oh, that's kind of creepy, and I could see how that's evil. They just wanted to make him like comically evil, and then you're like, whoa, too far. And I'm like the king of taking humor too far, but like you sit there and this guy's like, I want to fuck a fucking literal child.
It's so weird.
In the movie, and I couldn't get past it.
I love how the fucking...
You just can't get past it. You're like, wait, what?
I also love that part. Immediately after the pedophile shoots the neighbor from Seinfeld,
Right.
Punisher beats him up, and then he's about to shoot him, and the mom is like, you can't let my daughter see this, you have to let us go first. So he walks over and lets him go. And you'd think that's like an opportunity for the villain to get back up and continue the fight, but instead Punisher just goes back over and kills him.
Right.
It's really fucking weird. It's really fucking weird. And then he just like pushes him onto a fire and like CGI fire starts shooting out of his face. Looks
This movie
fucking
is
ridiculous.
fucking horrible.
It's fucking
so many
horrible.
ways.
Did this
It's-
actually come to theaters?
Yes.
Because I know fucking
I might have
Spirit
even
Rider
seen this
2
in
did.
theaters.
I know the fucking Ghost Rider 2 did. I didn't know this came to
I
theaters.
either
This is
saw it in
kinda the
Redbox like right when it came, or like right off of like DVD Netflix. I think I saw it off DVD Netflix like recent, like
Yeah.
soon after it came out.
I don't think
Because this was around the time. This came out around the time I watched like the Supergirl movie and a bunch of like random cape shit that wasn't like
all the like
good.
weird off-label game shit.
all the off-label cape shit. Because only Netflix had it.
Mm.
Netflix's delivery service had like all the weird shit. Like they had the Superman and the Mole Men cereal and like.
Mhm.
So I saw a lot of weird off-brand cape shit. I'm pretty sure I saw this there. I might. I might have seen it in theaters with like Alex or Grant or something, but
I'm pretty sure you
I
didn't,
watched
because
it.
if this came out around the time of Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance,
No,
that's
this
when
came out a
sense.
few years before Spirit of Vengeance. This
Oh,
came out around
okay.
the time of like Transformers 2.
Okay, I guess I was
Watchmen
probably a little
and
bit
shit
ahead
like
of when we
that.
saw everything, but
This came out around the time of like Watchmen and shit. This
this certainly
movie
feels like
something that would have come out in like the 90s.
this feels like a fucking direct to Hulu thing.
It's unbelievable that this movie came out to theaters in 2009.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable this came to theaters ever. This unironically feels like a fucking direct to Redbox Bruce Willis.
I
movie.
hate to say it, but I'm glad this ended the career of the director. Like, the director doesn't deserve to make any more movies after making this
It
abomination.
ended the career of everyone involved.
Yeah, and I'm happy about it.
Except Newman from Seinfeld, who.
What else has Newman been in since?
He's
That's
the
right.
most recognizable person in this movie. I'm sure if they really wanted to, they could get him back for Jurassic World 3 or something and just be like he's a clone.
Right.
So that's what they do in the new Jurassic World movies.
No, I seriously think this is like,
We have to watch a new fucking
This is a
Jurassic
horrible
World
movie.
in like a month.
yeah. It's a horrible movie. So, Aiden, would you recommend Punisher Warzone?
Watch the first like 10 minutes. The opening scene is fucking incredible trash kino. It's, you don't see things like this every day. I was crying laughing. When
This came out after Iron Man 1.
when he is hanging by when he's hanging by his feet from the chandelier and spinning at 100 miles an hour, dual wielding machine guns that
Not
have
looking
infinite
like
ammo.
killing everybody.
It's
Yeah.
incredible. I was crying laughing. Nothing else in the movie even remotely lives up to that. But the first 10 minutes of insanity is amazing. If it could have kept up that energy, that same stupid fucking energy, throughout even half of the movie, it would have been worth it. That opening scene, find it somewhere. I'll see if I can find a YouTube link to the opening scene and include it somewhere. Christ, the rest of the movie, after the opening scene ends, and it's pretty clearly marked. It is just boring dog shit for the rest of it. So yeah, that's pretty much how I feel. Connor, would you recommend Punisher Warzone?
I can't say I would. It sucked. It sucked start to end. I was
So you wouldn't even
appalled.
recommend the opening scene?
I'd recommend the opening scene. It's watchable, it's funny. But it's like, honestly, you know what? I'd recommend the Jean-Claude Van Damme fucking Punisher, because that movie is fucking based.
Yeah.
It's hard to get your
I haven't
fingers
seen
on.
it, but-
It's hard to get your hands on. I got a 10-pack DVD that happened to have the Punisher on it.
I haven't seen
And
it.
I
but
don't know how they pulled that off.
Does it
But I
have the...
believe it's by Canon Films, and it's basically like one of those Charles Bronson Death Wish movies where like 550 people die in that fucking movie. He
Does
just
it
goes
have the
He's throwing
typical
grenades.
Jean-Claude Van Damme stuff? Like, does the Punisher rip off his shirt and
Oh
pants
yeah,
and flex around in
Yes.
his underwear and then punch dudes in the balls?
yes.
How come every Jean-Claude Van Damme
He's like
movie-
punching people in the balls. He's shooting people. He's throwing grenades. He's shooting bazookas. I don't know. It's the most overlooked Marvel movie of all time. It is.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's fucking based in epic build, as they say. It's epic. I think that's our next review. The
Okay.
Jean-Claude Van Damme Punisher. It's
Yeah, I'm
really
down.
hard to track down, but I have it on DVD.
Okay, I'm down.
It's so fucking epic and based. It's not like the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie, which sucks, which I've made a review on. It's not like all the 90s Marvel movies, which suck. No, Jean-Claude Van Damme's Punisher, it's based. And it keeps up the momentum the whole damn time. There are some boring moments, but for the most part, it's just him shooting people. For fucking 90 minutes. Anyways. No, I wouldn't recommend the Punisher Warzone. I think it's fucking abysmal. I think it's a fucking travesty.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was all for today, fellas.